Alhamdulillah wa sallallahu Muhammad Nabi al-Ummi wa ala sahbihi ajma'in. We're still continuing talking about the what's the knowledge that a Muslim cannot do without. And today, inshallah, we're going to talk about the hereafter as if you're seeing it. It starts with the blow in the trumpet. And we have two blows as it is narrated in the most of the books. The first one, where Allah Azza wa Jal will ask the angel to blow in the trumpet, and then everybody will be dying. And then it is blown in it again, and then everybody will be stood up or resurrected, again looking. The first one, everything is died. And the second one is for resurrection. And what's between them? Allah would send rain that the bodies of the people will grow just like the plants. And everything will be wasted in the human except one bone. And that's what's going to start the resurrection. And it is the last bone and the end of the backbone. And from it is the whole resurrection will start. Then the spirits will be returned back to the bodies after the second blow. And then all creatures will be back when the earth is replaced, different than the first earth, and the heavens, and everything will be back to the heavens just like they were created the first time, and they will come back, nothing missing, not even their circumcision. And Allah Azza wa Jal will gather everybody to the day that is known. 40 years everybody is waiting for the separation, and the sun will come closer to the souls. Everybody will be thirsty, and then the sweat will be surrounding people. It depends on their deeds. The Prophet Allah said, "O people, fear your Lord. Indeed, the shaking of the hour is a great matter." And Allah described so many things that will happen, to the point where every woman will let go of her baby. And people look like they're intoxicated, but they're not intoxicated. But indeed, the punishment of your Lord is so severe. Astaghfirullah. So we need to fear Allah Azza wa Jalla. And for each messenger, he have a fountain, and the fountain of the Prophet ﷺ, where his followers will come to it. Its water is brighter than milk, smell like musk, and the cups of it as the amount of stars in the heavens. And whoever drink from it, he will never be thirsty again. And it is square. Each width is like walking for 1 month. And there's two rivers from the Kawthar comes in, 2 spring waters from the Kawthar comes in, flows into it. And the scholars, they said that it is before the Sirat and before the scale and before the decision at the day of gathering. This is a quick gift from Allah Azza wa Jal before you go through this major things. And some people will be waved away from his hawd, from his fountain. And the Prophet ﷺ will say, "Oh Allah, my nation, my followers." And he will be told, "You don't know what they have done after you. They have changed." Then he will say, "Destruction and away for those who change after me." The Prophet ﷺ, he said, I'm your farat, meaning I'm your recipient at the day of judgment, and I will be receiving you at my hawd, around my fountain. And some of the people who are my followers will be turned away from me. I'll say, oh Allah, my followers, my nations. Then he will be told that they don't know what they have changed after you from the religion. He said, then destruction and away from me. Then it will be the great intercession, which is the intercession of the Prophet ﷺ, that he will rush the accountability of people in this difficult times. So they go to the messengers and the prophets, they seek their help with Allah. They start with Adam, Nuh, Ibrahim, Musa, Isa, and each one of them he will say his sin, and then he will turn him to the other one until it comes to the Prophet. He said, I am the one for it, I'm the one for it. Then he will prostrate under the shade of the throne, and then he will be permitted, and Allah Azza wa Jal will give him with thanks and greetings to Allah Azza wa Jal that has never been heard before. And then he will be said, ask what you want, and you'll be given. So the first one, that Allah will rush or start the accountability of people. Then Allah will come to decide under clouds, and he has the angels, and they're all standing in rows with the Holy Spirit and Jibreel, and all the angels, they will come in lines, in rows. People will see him, and they all will be shocked. Then the hellfire will come in, and then the general exposure will come on all people, on Allah Azza wa Jal. Remember we said that the day of judgment has two exposures, which is the general one and then the private one. Then the book will come, and it has the dignified, the honored, and the weak. And they will say, oh, when it's put in front of them, they say, oh, we are doomed. How come this book does not leave anything small or big without without recording it? And Allah does not do anybody wrong. So the book will be exposed, and then the witnesses will come in, the angels, the dignified angels, those who write, and they are the hearers. So the angels will be witnesses. So all of them are witnesses on each one of us. They stay with you all your life. Their job is to witness everything they see, and if they have written, not only they witness it, but they also write it, so it will be recorded. Also the hearing, the eyes, the sight, and all the limbs will be testifying against you or with you. And when it is said to the servant at the day of judgment, it is enough for you that you are testifying against yourself. The angels who are preserving and writing or recording everything, as we said, each one of them is a watcher, and and writer of documenting everything. And we said also all the limbs, they will testify. And then the books will be delivered. And people are different in receiving those books. So some, he will take it with his right hand. Some, yes, and some they will put their hands behind their back, and they will take their book from their back with their arm is turned to the left. Those who have their books in the right hand, they will say, "Oh Allah," they're so happy. They just want to show people how this special they are. And then whoever testifies there's the oneness of Allah, and they will say, "Oh, I wish I didn't know what's my accountability. I wish it was different. I was overwhelmed by the garment." And Allah Azza wa Jal said, as to punish these people, the disbelievers, these few moments will decide the destiny of every single one. They are too accurate. And then the books are read. So some will be happy, some will be saddened, some will be disturbed. Allah said, and when the hour will start and you are shaking. Indeed, the ones who are lost are the ones who lost themselves and their families at the Day of Judgment. Indeed, these are them among the losers. Then the detailed accountability for each one. If you this book is to show the proof, so no one will come in and put excuses. And the first people who could put accountable are the nations and the followers of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The first people that will be, the first thing that will be settled is the bloodshed. Allah said, or the Prophet sallallahu said, every Muslim still have flexibility, and unless he touch blood that is haram, meaning to kill a Muslim intentionally, or somebody with that we have covenant between them, and Allah said that He have cursed him and He had prepared severe punishment for them. And the day of the Prophet made his last ceremony, he started that your blood and your wealth and your honor are sacred, just like the secrecy of this day, of this month, of this town. And he emphasized on this in his khutbah by saying, and don't come back after this disbelievers, where each one of you hit each other. And if you look around, you find the bloodshed is only done in the Muslim countries. And all these big crimes that happen in the Muslim countries, in the places where Allah Azza wa Jal has put the followers of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam as the best among nations. So what kind of affliction or test this is? We complain to Allah Azza wa Jal, and we all shall return back to Allah. As if the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he looked from his prophethood as if he knew and facts that's going to happen to some of the followers of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, where they will kill each other. So he starts saying his last ceremony by saying that your blood and your wealth and your honor, they're all forbidden, just like the forbidden of this day and this month and this town. The first thing the Muslims will be accounted for is his prayers. So after the blood is is settled, then the prayers, the first thing that they will look at. So if his prayers is not complete, then that will show, it will reflect on the rest of his deeds. The Prophet ﷺ said, the common between us and them is the prayers. Those who left and deserted their salah, Allah Azza wa Jal has cursed the one who leaves the salah. The prayers complain to the one who leaves or deserted the salah. They complain to Allah Azza wa Jal to curse and curse the person who deserted the prayers. And the person will stand in the prayers and he'll get 1/3 of it, and so on and so forth. When the Prophet ﷺ was asked about the whispering of the shaitan, he said, alayhi salatu wasalam, this is what the shaitan steals from your salah. So you have to gather your spirit, your soul, your heart, your brain with Allah Azza wa Jal, the one that you're going to stand in front of. And then the scales will be set. And it is, as we said, it is a real scale. What's going to be measured? The deed, the person. Allah said that He will not put any weight to anyone or consider any weight for any of those believers. And another thing that is important, it's the day of judgment. People will rush to the like it will be like the separation, and every nation they will follow whatever they were worshipping. So whoever worshipped beside Allah, he will be dragged to hellfire. Fir'aun, he will have his followers. And the Shaykh resembles this with the Hajj. Until, except for this ummah, the believers, the hypocrites in it, they all will be one. The disbelievers, they will go to the hellfire. But so anyone who worships someone beside Allah, he will be dragged to Jahannam. Then Allah Azza wa Jal, He will come in his different than his form. Then a leg will be exposed. The believers, they know it and they will prostrate to Him. But the hypocrites, they cannot prostrate to Allah Azza wa Jal. They cannot make sujood. Allah said about them, they were asked to prostrate and they were healthy. Well, and they refused. So those who refuse to worship Allah Azza wa Jal, to prostrate to Him in this life, He will not be able to prostrate to Him in the Day of Judgment. So the hypocrites cannot prostrate. Then Allah Azza wa Jal, He will put the darkness before the hellfire. Everything will be dark. And Allah Azza wa Jal will give lights to depends on their faith. It's just like when you're on an airplane, you only have light only for yourself. And this is not a parallel, but it's just to resemble that there will be darkness, and that's right before hellfire. And each one will have his own different light. So people will walk depends on what light they have. Some who have Light just like a mosquito or like a fly's part. So when the hypocrites follow the light that comes out of the believers, then they will be hit with the separator. And this separator, it has gardens one side and hellfire in the other. So Allah Azza wa Jal will give the guidance to the believers, and they will know their way in the Sirat. But the hypocrites, they stay in the hellfire, they stay inside, they will do in the hellfire. They wish they took away with the Prophet to save themselves. Then the bridge which is the Sirat, and this is on top of the hellfire. The believers, they will rise on top of it toward paradise. So the believers, they will climb it to Jannah, and then people will go on top of it, depends on their deeds. As we say, some of them they will be safe, and some will scratch, and some scratch but he'll be safe, and some will be dipped in the hellfire. Allah protect us from being among those that Allah Azza wa Jal will throw in the fire. So it's not only the disbelievers, also the disbelievers, the rebellious from the rule of Allah Azza wa Jal. So if the believers finish everything and they already passed through the Sirat, the other side, they will be gathered in places, and then Allah Azza wa Jal will settle the disputes between people. Allah will say, with my honor and dignity, no one will pass me the aggression of an aggressor. That He will not allow any aggression that anyone did to pass Him. And if it is grains weight, He will bring, and He is account. And it is sufficient that Allah Azza wa Jal count everything. So these people, they will be between the hellfire and the heavens. And if they are punished, then it is permitted for them to enter Jannah, and they have no wrong things, no wrong or ill feeling when they enter Jannah. Then entrance of the Jannah, after Allah, after the Muslims, they settle their dispute, and they are permitted to go to Jannah, and they come to His gate, and it will be opened with the intercession of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then they will go to the heavens, and then they will go to their homes, that they know it more than they know their own houses in this life. The people of the heavens, they have the best way to put in this life. Everybody might get lost, you might not know where you live, but at the day of judgment, every Muslim, every believer, he will know exactly where his house is, and he don't even need directions. And this, with the angels, they come from every angel, from every gate, and they say, peace be upon you from what you have been patient on. And this is the best destination. There's a good house. Allah Azza wa Jalla will only allow those who are good and kind. We ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to accept. Inshallah, we'll continue tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum.
مثل نوره كمشكاة فيها